If I had to start completely from scratch to make 10K a month online, this is what I do. I'm going to break it down in this entire video, and to show you that I'm legit and I know what I'm doing. If you're new to this channel, I've made over $500,000 last year alone online. I'll hit the refresh for you. This month we did around 50K, which isn't my best month. I have done $82,000 in a single month before. We have done, however, one of our best weeks ever, $38,465. So if I had to completely start from scratch, this is what I do. I'm going to break it down in this entire video. Now, the first thing that we're going to do, and we have to select no matter what, is a niche, okay? We need to understand that no matter what business you go into, you need to select a niche. So I'm going to pick a niche. Now, the number one most important thing when going after the niche and what I want to look after when selecting my niche is going after a business that relies on phone calls. And without phone calls, they are screwed. So the larger volume of calls that they have, the better. Now, for my specific offer, I'm going to go after HVAC guys. There's a couple different options that we could do. We could go HVAC, we could go roofers, we could go solar technicians. We could also go for call centers. I know this doesn't really apply to the rest of these. The only thing, and the reason why I'm not going after call centers first, I only have it here as a potential option, is because they're so reliant on phone calls. It's the only reason I'm considering it. The tough thing is there's not many call centers, and even if you do get a hold of them with no proof of concept, it's a little bit difficult. Now, I'm going to select HVAC for this, for our offer. Okay, so HVAC is going to be our niche. Okay, now what are we going to be selling? So we are going to be selling, let's go here, text, what is our offer? What is our offer? Okay, what are we going to be selling to these guys? We are going to be selling, and we're going to be covering 3 major blocking points in the business. Number 1 is going to be lead generation. Number 2 is going to be appointments. And number 3 is going to be on the sales / management side. So we're going to cover these 3 pillars. We want to cover lead gen for the business in order to convert leads, if they don't already have existing leads, into appointments. We're going to use, and I'll break it down, we're going to cover appointments so that we can, from the lead generation, we can turn those into appointments. And then to turn those appointments into actual sales, and then organize the systems on the back end. Okay. Now, how are we going to do this? Okay. How are we going to do this? For lead generation, we're going to run Facebook / Instagram ads, Facebook, Instagram / Google ads. And I'm going to show exactly how we're going to do it. Okay. Then for appointments, how are we going to book appointments? How are we going to fulfill? We are going to use an conversational AI phone caller using Insight AI / Vappy / Synthflow. Couple different options. And then for the systems and sales side, we're going to do closer placement, talent placement, as well as CRM setup. Now, I have the offer, so this is what I'm going to be selling. I'm going to be selling the lead gen, the appointments, and then the sales and system side. That's what we're going to be covering. We're going to be doing the lead generation for the business using Facebook, Instagram, and Google ads. Now, the reason why I included Google ads here is because for HVAC, and I'll give you an example. HVAC is kind of similar to plumbers. So let's say that all of a sudden your toilet stops working, okay? Or your toilet's broken and it's clogging and it's overflowing. If your toilet's broken, you're not going to open your phone and start scrolling on Instagram and Facebook to find an ad of a plumber and then eventually click on the ad and call them. You're going to go on Google and search up, plumbers in my area, or my toilet's broken, what should I do? And what Google Ads does is you essentially give them keywords and then set a radius around where you're located. And as soon as somebody is to search up like plumbers in the area, you will pop up at the top, sponsored. So that's why we're going to run Google Ads, because they're huge and not a lot of people are doing it. It's very, very underrated form of local ads. Now for number 2, we're going to be using a conversational AI phone caller, okay? Using Insight AI, Vappy, or Synthflow, okay? So Insight AI, if you don't know, is actually my platform. It's a really cool platform because we are we're actually at one time. So you pay us one time if you're a private client, and there's no recurring. You just pay for usage every time the AI dials. And the cool thing about Insight is you can actually upcharge. So all of our private clients, they can white label it, they can throw their logo on, they can change the domain, and you can, every time the AI is dialing, you can actually make money off your clients on top of that. And I'll talk more about how much we're going to charge for all of this in a minute. So we can use Insight AI. There's other alternatives. I'm not going to be biased to my platform. There's Synflow. Synflow's good. It is $1,500 a month for similar features to Insight. It's quite expensive. And then you also have Vappy. Vappy is a developer platform, so you kind of need to know some coding. You need to have some knowledge in coding and in backend. This is a huge learning curve. I'm not even going to touch Vappy for this starting from scratch situation. Okay. And then number 3 is the sales and system side. So we're going to be doing closer placement, talent placement, and a CRM setup. Now, what I'm going to do for this, so obviously I'm starting from scratch. This is completely hypothetical scenario. Let's say I don't know how to do any of this stuff, okay? The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to understand how to run Facebook, Instagram, and Google ads. I'm going to teach myself through YouTube videos, through anything. The same thing I'm going to do for the appointments, and the same thing I'm going to do for the sales side. Now, once I understand it myself, okay, and I've done some research, brief research, you don't need to become an expert, okay? Your first 1 or 2 clients are literally going to be, it's going to be a guinea pig, okay? That's what it's going to be for me. It's going to be like a testing phase. Now, in order to ensure I properly fulfill, while I'm setting up the first client or the second client or the third client, after that has already happened, what I'm going to do for properly fulfilling, so I've already collected the money upfront from the client, I'm going to use that money in order to hire an agency in order to run Facebook ads. So fulfillment, okay? How are we going to fulfill? Hire an agency, white label agency for $500 a month to run the client's ads for you. Okay? Now, what that's going to do is, like I said in the beginning, the only reason that I'm teaching myself Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and Google ads in the first place is so that I have enough of an understanding to where I can pitch and sell a client on the call. I don't actually need to know how to run the ads because I'm going to use the money that the client gave me in order to pay an expert to do it for them. So it's almost like you're a bank, okay, and you collect interest on a loan. So somebody gives you, you give somebody $10,000, and then eventually they pay back that loan to you plus $5,000. You then take the $5,000 that you made off interest from that person's loan, and you lend it to somebody else for $5,000. Okay, so you're not actually investing out of your pocket for the ads. You're using your client's money in order to fulfill for them. Now, that's the fulfillment for the Facebook and Instagram ads. For the conversational AI, we're going to use Upwork in order to hire on a contractor, AI developer to fulfill for the agent build. Okay, that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna explain a little bit more on this. Okay, how to use Upwork, how to do all of that. Okay, now for the closer and talent placement and the CRM setup, we're going to use either a talent agency, Facebook groups, or hiring ads. Okay, and then for the CRM setup, we're going to use something called Jobber. And don't worry, I'm going to break all this apart. So the agent build is going to cost around $1,000 for the agent, and then your talent agency, Facebook groups, everything that combined, including Jobber, will be less than $1,000. I'll say 900. No, 1,000. Okay, so you're like, geez, Nick, like this is pretty expensive. 1,000 for this, 1,000 for that, 500 a month for this. That seems like a lot. Well, the thing is, how much are we going to actually charge the client? Okay, we're going to be charging. Okay, we're going to be charging $15,000. Okay, I know it might seem like it's a lot, but a lot of businesses will pay you $15,000 if you are successfully doing this for them. Okay, and I'll explain why, and I'm gonna break it down a lot more. So right now, with all of this, you are charging $15,000. Okay, within this $15,000, your offer is going to include. So this is $15,000 upfront. This is going to include 3 months of support within the $15,000. And then after that, we're going to charge a $1,000 a month retainer in order to maintain everything. Okay, so right now, we have 3 months that we need to cover. So 3 months, $500 a month for the white label agency. That's $1,500 cost. One-time bill for the developer, $1,000 to fulfill the agent, and then a one-time cost for the talent agency placement or running the ads to hire on the person. And then Jobber is covered by them. Okay, so one thing, ads and software cost are covered by client. So what are the profit margins on this? Okay, what are the profit margins? You have the 15,000 upfront. You have the 15,000 minus 1,500 for the Facebook ads, the white label Facebook ads, minus 1,000 for the build, minus 1,000 for the ads and all that. I'm gonna go like this. For the ads for the talent hiring on talent, as well as the talent agency. And then another thing is for the for hiring jobs, we can actually learn that from the white label agency. So even better. So right now with that, our profits are going to be $14,000, $13,000, $12,000. So not only have we made $12,000 in profit, which will allow us to scale our ads for the business, bring in more traffic, drive in more leads, but it's also allowed us to have essentially zero work and effort on our end. The only thing that we have to worry about is managing the software engineers, managing ensuring the white label agency is doing things properly and learning it, as well as ensuring that the ads and that we're placing in proper talent into the business. So we're able to make $12,000 up front, and I'm telling you right now, once I break down this offer, you're going to see why any business would be willing to pay for something like this. And I have proof. It has worked for me already. Sure, in this hypothetical scenario, I'm starting from scratch, but I'm telling you, it has worked, okay? And there is lots of businesses who are willing to charge this because of the value that it's going to bring them. So what we're going to do is, now that we understand what our offer is, okay, so the main pillars that we're covering, specifically how we're going to fulfill, let's break it down a little bit more. So how are we going to fulfill for the white label agency? How do you even find a white label agency? So it's very, very simple. You can either use ChatGPT or you could just Google white label marketing agency. There you go. The first, white label marketing agency, market or hire. Okay. Look at that. 4.5 stars on Trustpilot, trusted by Netflix, Perplexity, HelloFresh, Lyft, all these guys. Market or hire. Like, look at that. Look at the cost. All of this. You can see the clients. There's also DashClicks. Whoops, wrong thing. DashClicks.com. And look, we can go to pricing right here. So $200 a month, so it's a little bit less here, and it's literally white label digital marketing, like white label Facebook ads that's completely done for you. So this is what we're going to leverage, and at the same time, after, like I said, we've informed ourselves a little bit on Facebook ads on YouTube, we can literally learn from these guys because everything is going to be in your client's ad account, so it's not going anywhere. So that's how we're going to fulfill for the white label agency. And we're going to be charging, you can go for $200 a month. You can find even cheaper, right? Now, for Upwork, how are we going to fulfill for Upwork? So basically, how Upwork works is you can go on here and go to hire talent, and then you can go to search for talent. And then once you go to search for talent, we can go over here, and we want to find an AI engineer. Okay, so AI engineer. There you go. So we have AI engineers here. We have Soheeb W. He's a generative AI engineer, AI product leader. He charges $40 an hour. He's 100% job success rate. And you can see here all his tags: artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python, SAS. And you have this guy, $12 an hour. So the thing is, a build like this for an AI agent for the softwares, like I said, it's going to be difficult to find somebody who already knows how to work with Insight AI or already knows how to work with Vapi or Synthflow. That's why it's best to learn those softwares on your own and then pass down the knowledge to an expert. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to learn the platform, we're going to learn the curve through YouTube. It's very easy. ChatGPT, YouTube. We can learn the basics and then pass it on and pay to one of these guys. And the effort and the work that's going to take, it's going to be about 10 hours of work for them, and we're paying them $1,000 for the build. So $100 an hour. If anyone is working less than $100 an hour, they're gonna have a steal. Look, 77 an hour, 10 an hour. All these guys are gonna be making a lot of money on it if you give them a 10-hour project for $1,000. Okay, so this is how we're gonna find our software engineer. There's lots of videos on YouTube as well. We're gonna use YouTube in order to find out how to pick the best software engineer and find out which are optimal for our business. Okay, now that we've covered that for the talent agency and Facebook groups and hiring ads, simple as we're going to use the white label agency to figure out how to do that. Once we figured out how to actually run ads to attract leads, it's as simple as just having a application form instead of a lead collection form. And I'm going to break that down as well. Don't worry. Okay. So this is how we're going to be able to charge 15 grand. Now, one more thing for the Jobber and the CRM setup. If you guys have never heard of Jobber before, basically, Jobber is very, 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 very good for HVAC people because most of the HVAC guys are super old, non-technical guys. And what they're doing is they're using pen and paper for quotes. They're using pen and paper for tracking for employees. They're paying cash. It's very, very old school. And what Jobber does is it allows you to quote, schedule, invoice, and get paid all in one place. Okay. And the cool thing is, they could go out and set up Jobber on their own, but they're not technical enough. And if you can turn their business from using an outdated CRM or not using any CRM to using a CRM and having a CRM in place to where everything is organized, they have everything stored in here in a learning curve that takes less than an hour to figure out, then you are getting a steal. Both sides are winning, okay? It took me about 30 minutes to an hour to actually learn Jobber, understand it, how to set it up. Okay, so it's very, 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 very simple, and that's what we're going to use to fulfill for that. Okay, that alone could be worth 20 to 30 grand for businesses. Okay, we're charging 15 for all of this. Okay, obviously, as we get proof of concept and our clients start to see a larger ROIs, we can even increase this price. But to start, I'm not going to go above that. It is pretty high ticket even now, even with no case studies, and even though there is a ton of value in it, it is bold. But the thing is, if I'm wanting to hit 10K a month, all I need to do is sign one client every month and a half. That's very easy. Okay, it's very easy. It's a lot easier than people think. So, including in that offer, we have the 15K that we're charging up front. Within that, there's 3 months of support, and then after the 3 months is over, we're going to charge a 1K a month retainer. Now, why the 1K a month retainer? Why would people pay after we set all this up? Because there's a lot of maintenance, okay? If, for example, the AI caller is calling to schedule people and quote them in, what happens if their prices change? What happens if new materials come through? What happens if they have new services in place? Okay, the AI needs to be changed. We need to tweak. We need to maintain. We need to ensure everything is held up to standards and that we're making things as efficient as possible. And the thing is, if we do it all for the business, they're not going to want to touch it. They're not going to want to do it themselves. So charging the monthly retainer is not only a win for us because we're having recurring revenue, we're having a client rely on us, but it's also a win for the client because they don't need to bother with that. They can just stick to what they do best, which is working on so setting up the heating, ventilation, whatever, cooling. Awesome. So with that, we are left with around $12,000. Now that's going to allow us to be able to scale our ad spend. But okay, Nick, this makes a lot of sense, and that's great on understanding. Now you know what to do for the offer for your client and how to fulfill for the client. But how do I actually start closing deals, and how do we start closing deals in order to sell this and pitch this to people? We are going to be using Facebook ads, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to require money. You're going to need to spend money. And in my personal opinion, I wouldn't start unless you have $1,000 to $2,000 to spend on Facebook ads. If you don't have $1,000 to $2,000 to spend, you can't expect to make a return in business if you're not willing to invest in it. Like if you invest $1,000 in business and get $10,000 out, you are very, very, very in the top 1% of return in terms of return on investment. Okay, so if you're not willing to put in $1,000 and you want to make $100,000 a month, you're lost, my friend. Okay, so we're going to how to sign clients on this offer. We're going to use Facebook/Instagram ads. Now, for the ad copy, and the primary text. So what is actually on the headline and all that, we're going to use ChatGPT. Okay, we're going to use ChatGPT for prompting and instant generation of optimized headlines and primary text. Okay, then with ChatGPT, what we're going to do is there's two options that you have here. Okay, the first option is you can either do a UGC or an AI UGC, and I'll talk about that, or you can run a Veed AI demo. Now, I'm going to show you what each and every one is. I'm going to show you what each of them is, and then I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of each one, okay? Now, for the UGC and AI UGC, UGC is user-generated content. So it's literally you speaking to the camera. Now, this is good for actually fulfilling for your client as well. So your digital marketing agency that you're going to hire is most likely going to use this for your clients, which is the UGC talking head video to generate leads for them. But you can also use it for your business. And what this does is you can plug and play a script, and AI will actually speak to the camera. Now, it doesn't look like it's AI. It's this guy. I'm going to play the video. But I personally think the benefits to using AI UGC versus normal UGC is the fact that it's so easy to do. It is a little pricey. So it's around $130 a month to run this platform, ArcAds. I'm not sure if there's any other alternatives out there. There should be. But yeah, it's quite expensive, but you can sit in your bed and kind of do it and generate videos on your own pretty much instantaneously. So in terms of ease of use, it's good. The con is that it's expensive, and also it honestly doesn't look very real to me. So the AI is talking and it doesn't really match with the lips. So he's talking like this, but there's, there's almost like a little bit of a delay, and you can really tell that the lips aren't saying what the words are coming out of. So I'll play this for you.
Avoid these two mistakes if you have an Android phone. Number one is getting too many useless emails. Number two is not being protected against spam. They are ruining your storage and productivity. Instead, try this app for free. CleanFox will block useless emails and stop spam in one tap. This is the most used email cleaner. Download it for free.
So yeah, once again, the pros are it's so easy, like it just generates that for you. You don't have to do anything, you have to talk. And the cons are it's expensive, and in my personal opinion, it doesn't really look that legitimate. Now the other thing that you can do, like I said, is just rent out a studio. You pay $50, you go yourself, you talk, and the benefit to that is that you're the co-founder, you're the person, you're the founder. So they see your ad and they hop on a call with you. It builds trust, it builds connection, and also I could tell right away that was AI before anyone had told me it was AI. I could tell it was AI. So it may throw some people off. But yeah, now the second thing that you could do is run a AI demo with Veed. So basically, what you do is you plug and play a script into this is done on Inside AI. You can do it on Synthflow Vappy. Once you've created the agent, you just call and then you download the recording and then you just plug it into Veed. You can add a little animation and I'll play it for you.
You need to stop calling this number. This is the 5th fucking time this week that you're calling. Okay, I'm tired of these calls.
I completely understand, Nick. The reason for my call today is to ensure that you and your loved ones have the best insurance coverage possible. Am I correct in assuming that you're interested in protecting what matters most to you?
Yes, I am, but you guys have just been really fucking annoying me.
I apologize if our previous calls have been a nuisance, Nick. At insurance...
Anyways, you get the point. So basically what it's doing is it's hooking the lead in with the swearing in the beginning from the upset customer, and then it shows how the AI turns an upset lead into a actual converted appointment. Okay, now this is doing two things. This is hooking in the lead because it's attracting their attention. The UGC ad isn't going to do that. It's not going to stand out. There's a million talking head videos on Instagram, on Facebook, so it doesn't stand out. This hooks the lead, it brings their attention, and it's straight to the point. It shows the product, it shows that it's AI, it shows how it handles the conversation in real time with a demo. You can make the demos ultra realistic, and you can make them fit to your niche as well, so they, recognize the familiar words and the wording and whatever it may be. Okay, that's the benefit of the AI ad. This is also free. You don't have to pay $130 a month. You don't have to go into a studio. It's free. So that's the benefit, in my personal opinion. It's straight to the point. It's previewing the product. It's always going to be the best way to go. So this is how we're going to run the ads. Now from there, what are we going to do in terms of the funnel? So what happens once they come through here? Okay, the funnel. What we're going to do is we're going to send them to a landing page. So we're going to collect their info, and then we're going to spam them. Okay, so first, the funnel. We're going to collect info, and then they're going to enter a nurturing sequence where they're going to get send one email per day for the next month. Okay, so we're going to send them one email every single day for the next month, and then we're going to reactivate them every month with another email. Okay, so we're gonna spam blast every single person who's ever come through every single month with another email. Then at the very same time, we are going to send a text message 5 minutes after they opt in. And then, same thing, one text message per day for the next 2 weeks, okay? The reason being 2 weeks and not a month is because if they haven't responded after a month, there's a high likelihood that over text, they've blocked you, they've ignored you, and we don't want to keep paying for text. Texts are more expensive than emails, a lot more. So send one email per day, we're going to send one text, and then we're going to, 5 minutes after the lead comes through, we're going to, AI will call them and follow up every day. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the AI. We're going to use the same system, which is what we're selling to them. And what this is going to do is it's not only going to increase your booking rate by 10% with this sequence, but it's actually going to preview and show them what is going to be used for their business and how we're going to convert for their business. And a lot of people will hop on the call already and they'll be like, oh my gosh, like that was amazing the way that you got me on the call and you reminded me and you bumped up all the messages and you called and you followed up with me and you made sure that I was booking in and that I didn't slip through the cracks. And you'll see sometimes businesses will even do it as a test to see how optimized your process is and to see if you actually know what you're talking about. So that's the cool thing. Now, after we've already sent all of these people here, okay, so we've increased our booking rate by 10%. We have about 1 to 3% that will self-book. That's the normal statistic right now. Now, what we're going to do is send them to a landing page. So every single one. So if they haven't booked with the AI and they weren't booked, they'll get sent to the landing page. If they were booked by the AI, they'll skip a step, and I'll tell you what step that we're gonna skip and how we're gonna break that down. Okay, so we're gonna send them to this landing page. So bam, right off the start, business owners doing at least $50K per month. We want to instantly qualify them. We want to make sure that they have the money to drop 15 grand up front. Appointments at 10,000 leads per minute using our conversational AI infrastructure. Automate client acquisition by having AI book appointments into your calendar on autopilot. Then we're gonna have a 25-minute VSL that's covering the basic understanding of the technical side of the things, okay? The reason being is we don't want the sales call to become a discovery call. We don't want them to have a question and answer call on their sales call. The reason being, if somebody is asking you a question and they get the answers on the same call that you're pitching 15 grand, it's a lot less likely for them to convert because they don't have time to sit on the information. They've just received it. And then they've just received a ton of information. They have to comprehend it. They have to condense. And then you try and charge them 15K. If a business owner is confused and they don't have time to think and they don't understand something, they will never convert, okay? They will never convert. So after that, the VSL page, they get sent to a book a free demo. We have a bunch of case studies here, a bunch of use cases, and then demo calls, okay? Now, once they click on they've watched the VSL, they click on book a call, they get sent to a financial qualification page to make sure that we know they're qualified, okay? As long as they pick anything other than the first answer, they get sent through. If not, they get sent to a qualification page. Now, once they've been qualified financially, they get sent to the booking page where they have to select the time to book, okay? So let's say 4 p.m. on Thursday. Let's just put test, and then I'll put fill in the info here. So it's going to ask for email, phone number, name. It's going to ask for the website URL. So I'm just going to put some random answers here. Then it's going to ask who do you serve, what do you sell, what's the price point. So basically to explain what their business is in 1 to 3 sentences. That way we have an idea of the business. What bottlenecks do they want Insight AI to solve? And then ask them if there was a guarantee return on investment. Would they be willing to invest 5K into their business? Yes. If they've watched the pre-call video, and then if they are willing to show up to the call. Now, after they've scheduled the session, it's going to redirect them to the thank you page. Now, once they've been redirected here, thank you for booking a call with us. Look forward to meeting you. Important, please complete the following 3 steps. So it's a 93-second thank you video with a nice background, very professional, showing that we're established and we're in a professional environment. Step number 2, to confirm the call, ensure that they show up. This, by implementing this right here, you can increase your show rate by 50%. So we're going to make sure that we have this step in here. And then number 3 is making sure they've watched the VSL. If they show up on the call, they haven't watched the VSL, instant reschedule, no matter what. Okay, because it's going to turn into a Q&A and there's 0 chance they're closing on the call. Okay. So that is the funnel that we're going to send them through, okay? Now, if they've already been booked by the AI, they will skip the first 1 and 2 steps, okay, because they already answered all the questions with the AI. The AI qualified it, wrote it in the notes, and then number 2, they've already selected the time slot the AI has booked them in. So all they'll do is they'll get sent and redirected to this page once they've booked, okay? They'll get sent the email, send them to this page. So this is how we're going to fulfill for our clients, and this is how we're going to sign clients on this offer. We're going to use Facebook and Instagram ads. We're going to send them, and we're going to use AI in order to generate the text. We're going to use ChatGPT for prompting, instant generation, and then either AI UGC or the V demo, send them to the funnel, collect their info, and then once we collected their info, we blast them with SMS and email, and then call. If they don't pick up the call, they self-book. If they do pick up the call and book, they get sent to the last page. And that's pretty much it, okay? That is how we're going to be able to. If I was to start from scratch, this is what I would do, okay? Now, obviously, in order to do this, you do need some startup capital. You need to be able to pay for the software as well as to run the ads in the first place. So what you can do is if you have $0 to start, in my personal opinion, you have 2 options. You can either run this entire offer but do cold outreach. It's going to take a lot longer. Or you could do it properly, in my personal opinion, save up, work a job, okay? Make enough money to where you can actually run ads and then sign on a client. And honestly, the third way that you could do, and I know I didn't mention this, but you could honestly just use a software like Go High Level, and Go High Level, and you can make like $1,000 to $1,500 for every website. And there's a lot of, honestly, there's AI generation now. And you can use like Framer, you can use a bunch of different ones, and you could just use so Go High Level has a website template, it's 100 different templates on. So it has a bunch of different templates that you can utilize directly from the platform itself. It's $97 a month, and you could sell these for $1,000 to each business owner. So you can go and pitch businesses and make your first ad money just selling websites. That'll also make you more comfortable with pitching, with clients, with speaking to people, building up your confidence. So yeah, that's how if I had to restart and I didn't make $500,000, and we have lots of other money on different payment processors as well. If I had to restart, that is exactly how I would make $10K per month. And the cool thing about it is, with high tickets, all you have to do is sign one client every month and a half, and you're set. And it's not like, okay, you have to pay all the money up front. Some clients you could split the payments for them, $5K a month for 3 months. And in order to incentivize them, you could even increase the price to, like, if they want to split the payments, it's $6K a month for 3 months. That way they either pay you more up front or they pay you more long term. It's a win-win. So yeah, that's what I would do if I wanted to start completely from scratch. Now, if you want one-on-one help with this and you want to scale, and you're willing to invest in yourself, you could actually get started today. Aside from selling AI and working with businesses, I actually have a partnership opportunity where you can leverage my fulfillment team. You work with me one-on-one, and you have access to my platform for life. You do have to apply, so we don't just accept anybody. I'll either be taking the call or my business partner will. So if you're interested in that, you can book a call below. If not, no problem at all. You can go on your own and do it, because it's very possible. But yeah, if you just want to skip that trial and error, and pretty much have a time machine of failure and trial and error, and you just want to skip past all that, you can work with me one-on-one. And yeah, I've invested well over 6 figures the past year in mentorship, and all of that is passed down to everybody that we work one-on-one with, because obviously you're selling our platform. We want you to succeed just as much as we want to succeed. And like I said, we've had good success in the past, and we know what we're doing. So anyways, enough about me. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you want to work with me one-on-one, click the link in the description below. Take care. Bye-bye.